Oh my God, we're out. Welcome back. I'm Tedward. Welcome to my 2023 Lexus GX460, and welcome to Boston, which is a nightmare to drive. It's not so bad right now, though, because it's actually a Sunday afternoon. It's not terrible. Traffic still gets a little nutty out here, but I wanted to take you on a short therapy drive and also kind of figure out why people have moved toward SUVs so much, because a lot of these roads can get tricky to navigate with a sports car or a fun car. And like, do you really want to park next to that guy? Really? You're going to go spend all that hard-earned cash on your dream Porsche, and then you're going to park next to a Corolla that looks like every single body panel has been smashed? I don't know, man. That's kind of what I like about this Lexus, is that it kind of splits the difference. The Hummer, maybe a little too wide and maybe not the most parkable thing, but I do really, you know what, let's do this. Why not? We'll change directions a little bit instead of going straight down there. We'll follow the Boston PD. Always watch for people just jutting out into crosswalks in Boston. People really don't pay attention, which is a very American thing in cities anyway, so it's not Boston specific, but people will just run into the road in the craziest scenarios. And now, dude, I'm sure every city has this, but we call them mosquitoes. The little DoorDash guys, man, they are everywhere, and it is brutal. They are so reckless in the way they drive. They go up the sidewalks, they go up the bike lanes, and then they just do anything and everything in traffic, heeding zero rules. But look at these potholes. Look at this. Oh, like that would take out my 911 for sure. That would not be a pretty scenario. You can go. I'll let you go. I'm gonna put headlights on. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Boston. That's the Car Guru's building, and it blocks the view of the Prudential Center, which is blocked right here, but the better looking building in the city and the more identifiable building in the city. And when you're coming on the Mass Pike, which is right there, you can see the highway below us. That is the entry into the city, and usually you get a great view of the skyline, and that building kind of blocks it. But there is a cool section in the middle of it, which I really like, and there's also Rivian is in there as well. So there are some cool aspects to it. I think the building looks better now that it has some glass in it, but when they were building it for a couple of years, it was so bizarre. Here's what we'll do. We'll head down Boylston. I don't know what this guy is doing. That's bizarre. Like, you can't make this stuff up sometimes. And I'll be honest, these are places I don't normally drive unless I'm on camera. Like, it's kind of fun to film it, but otherwise there's just not a whole lot of joy in being here, with a car at least. Which again, I guess brings up the idea, like, why have a car in the city? I complain all the time that it's very difficult to get here and park here and all this stuff. But like, that's kind of the point. The more difficult it is to have a car, the less likely you are to have a car. And then the cities are better because then you just need to have better public transportation. And Boston, it's been better lately. The new guy, it's like the only guy, I forget his name and I feel bad, but he's the head of the public transportation. He's the only guy who's made a sizable difference in the quality of the public transportation in Boston in decades. And I swear this poor guy, I think he's aged like 100 years. Look, that mosquito just went up the wrong way in a bike lane on Boylston. Like, they just do whatever. But yeah, we need better buses. We need better trains. Honestly, as a car enthusiast, I would just prefer to have trains everywhere. I don't want to have to fly to Detroit or New York. Like, why can't I just jump on a high-speed rail? But no, we've decided that this is the way. It's like not anti-car to be anti-car. Does that make sense? Like, I think I'm allowed to be anti-car for the sake of preserving cars. Because otherwise, if everyone has cars, then I don't get to use my fun ones. Oh, I guess this is where we're at now. Ooh, what's going on near the Mandarin? Oh, that's probably going to copyright me. Nope, not listening to that. To live in this city with a car is to struggle in the city with a car. And it's by design, I think, at this point, because honestly, you should be discouraging people from having cars in cities because the cities are better, more walkable, more livable, cleaner, all of the things if you don't have so many personal forms of transportation this large. If you've got a bicycle, if you've got buses, if you've got trains, great, like people who can move around. But it is a pain when you're someone who lives outside of the city and wants to come in once in a while because there's still not a great suitable way to get in and out efficiently, and if you want to stay late, to get out, because a lot of our trains don't run that late. So if I did take the train in, I might not be getting home because I stayed in the city till 11 or midnight and now there's no public transportation back. So it does kind of suck, and I am a huge proponent of public transportation because I think better public transportation makes for better driving. Frankly, the less people that rely on a car, because most people don't want to actually have a car in the city, believe it or not, the better it is for people who have cars. So to be a proper car enthusiast, I think in some ways you have to be anti-car. You actually have to be against so many car freedoms in these areas, because if we just put money toward better high-speed rail and better buses and more carefully thought out public transportation, then driving would just be a pleasure again. You know, make driving a pleasure again. That would be nice. This guy's gonna try to kill himself. I do want you to take this into consideration, though, when you're one of those people who says, I would daily anything. Would you? Because I don't want to sit in this nightmare bumper to bumper, barely moving traffic in my air-cooled 911 or in like a Lamborghini or in anything fun, really. It feels like wasted miles, and you're just so vulnerable, especially when you're low to the ground. Like that, you think that white Tesla cares where you are? Like, they don't. They just want to, they're barely driving. They're barely driving. Rhode Island plate? Oh my God, forget it. Forget it. Toast. You're toast. Ooh, street parked, Mulsanne or flying spur? Flying spur, right? Why am I bad at identifying those two cars? Either way, handicap parking, so hopefully they've got the correct placard, or they're just taking liberties as a Bentley owner. I see a placard, appropriately parked. Ooh, and I see a Toyota Land Cruiser over there. There are some good street parked cars, but you know, the thing is, the good street parked cars typically are in the good neighborhoods, right? Makes sense. So everyone loves to be like, oh, street park everything. Well, yeah, sure. Street park everything in front of your like $8 million brownstone in Boston. One thing that off-roading teaches you is that your Toyota V8 can idle and do low RPM, no airflow stuff for just days on end. So luckily, I don't worry about it. I mean, granted, it's 45 degrees, so we're not really in any dire straits temperature-wise. But still, you just never know. What I don't understand about Boston is I have a green arrow, but I don't have a green light over there, so we can't go anywhere. So we just have to kind of sit in this weird holding pattern of shit. And like technically I'm not in a good spot because I'm in a no block zone essentially. Ooh, check out the Land Cruiser behind us. That's cool. Man, it's just like a no-win situation. Like you basically have to stack up all the cars illegally blocking intersections and then wait for the other intersections to clear in an unsystematic way. It's insane. Because see, like this light's green, but that light's red. So now if that guy doesn't pile in far enough, then we're blocking this intersection, which blocks those people. This is too nuts, dude. Please go a little faster. Tighten that up. Let's go. Let's do this. And then hopefully nobody does anything stupid here. That's all I want. Oh my God, we're out. Who says the GX isn't fast enough? Ooh, I was gonna take you guys down some Boston streets and have a little Boston experience, but this was a little too Boston. I did not want to sit in bumper-to-bumper traffic for the next 2 hours to show you basically nothing. Like, what a nightmare, dude. Like, what a nightmare driving in the city has become. Not fun. This is the problem, too, is I just don't know where to live. Because I would like to live in the city because I think there's more social life and things to do and people to see and meet, and that's great. I really do dig that. That's a great time. But like, my job is literally reviewing cars. And can you imagine if I'm bringing cars home for the weekend or the week and I've got to park something in there? Like, there's just no way. I wouldn't sleep at night because I'd be worried about the Phantom or one of the Bentleys or literally anything. And then to get them out, it would just take me forever. Yeah, man. Ugh, leave me to these wide open roads. All of those bumps seemingly insignificant in the Lexus, but I will tell you, those feel pretty significant when you're in the 911 or in like a low sports car and you're just thinking, ooh, what did I just touch? And if you're just trying to keep up with traffic that's not even going that fast, because that was 60 miles an hour. Imagine traffic's going 75, 80, and you've got to like slow down for that because you know if you hit that compression, you're just gonna ruin a car. And then you're like causing a real dangerous situation with traffic because you've just slowed down 20 miles an hour. Crazy. Crazy. Here's the New Balance building. And then also where the Celtics practice. But yeah, all you Corvette lovers, this is where the magic happens. Looks like a cruise ship, doesn't it? The salt has already been laid, which is nice because the temps have been getting really cold at night, and this car, I do undercoat it. I use the PB Blaster rust prevention stuff, and I got to do another round of it because I did it last year, and I think it's done some good, but we'll find out. I got to get under there and do it again, and this is really the only vehicle that I'm going to be driving this winter. So let's do our best to preserve. So people were asking me about that. People were also asking me about my alignment, and it's better. I did get an alignment probably like 6,000 miles ago, and it did straighten the car out a little bit. But this car, it always just kind of follows the crown of the road, or the angle of the road. So if there's some camber in the road like this, it's always going to be kind of falling off, and you've got to counter steer that. So even though it is as straight as it's ever been and as good as it's ever been, you still do need to put in some left lock when you're in the right lane. If I'm in the left lane, I got to put in a little right lock, so you understand. I think it's just what it is to drive a GX, and you notice it more in the video because you're looking at a steering wheel that's not perfectly level, but you don't notice it that much when you're actually driving the car. And now I've got 23,726 miles. It's still a fresh little baby. I do 5,000 mile oil change intervals with this, despite the fact that Lexus says 10 is appropriate and encouraged. I'm gonna not heed that. I think, okay, here's my theory. I think I've said this before, but I think that automakers who provide the first 1 or 2 free oil changes have stretched the life of that oil to its ragged edge in an effort to say, look, we're giving you 20,000 miles of free service, but really they're giving you 2 oil changes, which really should be 4 oil changes. I don't know that I have the data to back this up, but something tells me that that can't be right. 10,000 miles on 0W20, and the dealership, they'll say, oh, but sir, it's synthetic oil. It's like, yeah, well, it's all synthetic oil. I'm not putting the stuff I put in my 911 into this car. So pretty much all oil is synthetic at this point. So that talking point is valid to some extent, but I still just would rather do shorter intervals and not even risk wearing out critical mechanical components of this V8. And ahead of me, man, that is the crown jewel of Logan Airport. That's the Framingham Logan Express. So that's how I get to the airport. That bus is a miracle. It costs $9 each way. The parking, when you park there, is $7 a day. If I were to drive into the city, it would cost me like $60 or $70 a day to park at Logan Airport. And driving in there is a total nightmare. This makes life so easy. Yes, sure, you have to ride some public transportation with some weirdos. Totally cool with it. That bus, game changer. And it also, I feel like I'm doing my part to get more cars off the road for the commute into the airport, because usually when I'm going to the airport, it's during rush hour in the morning, and the less of me there are clogging up the roads going to the airport, the better it is for everybody else, and myself, really. So, all for it. Find ways around using your car when you can. This road is singing. You hear that? That was wild. That was sticking out a lot more than it should have been. What is good? Look at this. That's a snow machine. All these people cross-country skiing. That looks fun. I want to do that. It's a great way to stay in shape. That sound is just my sparkling water can sitting in the cup holder. So that's it. We got out of the city. I'm actually ending this video on a different day because I went and did some other things, and then I forgot to end the video altogether. But I wanted to take you through the struggles, I guess, of driving through Boston and why it's really difficult to decide where to live. Because as a non-car person, I would 100% just live in the city. I would rent some exorbitantly expensive place, and I wouldn't have car insurance, and I wouldn't have to pay to maintain these things, or park them for that matter. And I wouldn't have the emotional stress of trying to park them in certain places, because I certainly can't afford the $8 million brownstone that we saw earlier and to just street park the 911 or the M5 or this. I would never sleep. And I very much respect those who can put their cars out on the street and go to bed. Like, what a wonderful life. You don't need therapy. You are zen. I'm not there. Like, as much as I don't want to live in the suburbs, I want that driveway. I want to have an enormous driveway that nobody can door ding me or touch my cars. It's one of the reasons why I love Garage 42, is because I know my cars are stored safely by enthusiasts and that nothing's going to happen there. So that's kind of the trick, man, is what do you do with cities as a car person? I still don't have good answers for this because I'm not wealthy enough to make, even the wealthy people. I know some really, really wealthy people in the city who have dedicated parking where they still park underground under their outrageous houses, but they have neighbors, and those neighbors park there. And I'm telling you, man, their Bentleys get scratched by their neighbors, and their neighbors are like, what of it, man? Go get it fixed. It's like they don't see the value in having a clean Carfax. They're just like, I got a body guy, you've got money, it's fine. It's like, it's not about the money. So I guess we're ending this video on another completely bizarro topic, because I don't think I carried a theme throughout this entire video, but that is the nature of my brain and the therapy drives, and I hope you enjoyed a little more time in the Lexus GX460. I always like spending time in this thing. So thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. If you have suggestions on how to live your life as a person who wants to be social in or near a city, but also wants to have your vehicles safe and protected and not deal with nightmare traffic on your commute every day, well, let me know in the comment section, because I'm very curious. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one.